Well, good afternoon, Alec. How are you today?
I am doing great. It is currently, we just got a cold front here down here in the south, so I'm enjoying the cold weather. It's been very hot recently, so it's a great day. It's always a great day on a Monday.
It's probably a great relief for you, you and I spoke a couple weeks ago with regards to doing this podcast, The Mindset of a Champion, what sets you apart. And I've really been looking forward to this. By way of a formal introduction, Alec Carrillo, the firm real estate company serving the greater McAllen area there in South Texas. I mean, South Texas, right? And really
Sure.
happy to have you with us today. So, we're going to get to know you better, kind of launch into how'd you get started into the real estate business and when did you get started? And then you maybe can share a little bit about your market and what's happening there.
Yeah, so for sure. I started working on the different side of the transaction. Back when I was 20 years old, I started working at a title company. It was only supposed to be a job that I had until I graduated. I graduated, they decided not to let me go. So they administrative position for me. So I learned the different ins and out of the corporate side. I learned about escrow, the examiner side. So from that point on, I was able to dive into the industry and just meet a bunch of different amazing people. You know, you work with realtors, attorneys, banks, the lenders, the surveyors. It's like you see a lot on the title side because you are like, I guess the final man or the middleman of everything.
Yeah.
So through that time there, I was able to learn that. I also was able to learn through connections, sides of construction. I did property management for Airbnb rentals for a bit. So I've been in the industry, I want to say for about 5 years, but not until recently in February is when I got my realtor's license. It was something
Congrats. That's awesome.
getting my realtor,
We both did it at
there's
the
the
same
cough.
time. Sorry.
We're like, we need a break, coffee break.
I
So
know.
back is when I got my realtor's license. So it's been about, I want to say about 7 months. And it's been interesting to see it from all the different sides. And it's been very helpful too, because I'm able to come into the industry having those connections that if I need advice from an attorney, if I need the advice from a title company, like an escrow agent, a bank, I have a great support system down here that's made the transition very easy. And it's also helped knowledge wise. I feel like a lot of times people don't get that opportunity to dive into an industry with that support, being able to build these connections and go back into it, because I actually left the title company to become a teacher and educator for a while. So it was weird coming back a year and a half later on the real estate side, property management, and be like, okay, well, I'm back, guys, but now
Yeah.
I'm doing
Like full
something
circle.
completely different. Yeah. So full circle moment, and it's been great. I mean, it took a while to get that first check, right? It was a lot of work, a lot of hustle, as we know. Uh, I myself, when I worked at the title company, I'm like, what does a realtor do? What is it? They have the photos, they do the signing, like what is it? What is it? And now that I'm in it, it's a lot of work that we do, and a lot of um protective measures that we take for our clients, right? And now it's funny being on the opposite side of it, because now I have people question me, what is it that you do as a realtor? Why do I need a realtor? So it's like I'm on for those questions. Well, there's certain things that you protective measures you got to have on your contract. You have to know the technology. You have to make sure it's your big investment that you're taking, that you know all the different steps from pre-approval to title to this getting an appraisal to a survey, the inspection, the importance of all these things that people otherwise don't know. And one thing that's very important to me, not only because I am an educator, but because I am a young professional um, in a community where education is barely hitting the first, second generation of individuals down here. We do have a lack of education down here. And
Mm.
that's my thing when it comes to my community is that, hey, even if I am not selling your house, even if you don't buy with me, I at least want you to be educated. I at least want you to know things that you didn't know before. So it happens all the time. I mean, working in this industry, you get leads. one out of 20 are the solid ones. But if I'm able to give you some informative information that's going to help you with your investment, that's the number one thing for me. Educating people in my community on the process of buying, that there's more than one option about going about it, and knowing the different regulations and just the whole full runaround of a real estate transaction. And
Yeah,
it's so crazy. I have yet to have a conversation with people where they're like, well, I already knew that. It's always something like, wow, I'm so
yeah.
that you see that they have a little bit more hope, especially down here with our salaries being so low, with our demographic and prices skyrocketing. People feel
Hmm.
like that American dream is getting further and further from them. But with the right guidance, with the right loan officer, with the right realtor, I mean, the possibilities are there. It's just asking the questions and getting started, right? As we all know.
Yeah, everything you said really resonates with me because, I tell people ask me what I do, and I said, you know what, I'm in the education business. Oh, you're a teacher? I go, yeah, I am a
Yeah.
teacher. Oh, where do you teach? Well, sometimes right from my home office or at the office. And, at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm a
Yep.
lender. I'm a loan advisor that educates people on the home buying process and the financing side every single day. And it's amazing. Like you said,
Yep.
very rarely do I hear people say, "Oh yeah, I know that," or "Oh yeah, I understand this." There's always something, maybe even a piece of it that they didn't understand before. And now that
Yeah.
they do understand,
Yep.
you can see the trust being built. You can see the reason that maybe they wanted to wait before starts to go away. And they say, you know what? Maybe I can do this. Maybe this isn't as difficult as I once thought, or I heard, or I saw on the internet or something. So that's exciting. I'm really glad to see how you take that responsibility as an educator, even at the school system, but as a realtor, you take such great pride in
Yeah.
helping your community. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, tell us a little bit. Oh, go ahead,
And
Alec.
yeah, the reason why I see that so important is because being that we are a border town community, right? A lot of the infrastructure that we have is local builders, local title companies, local banks, businesses that are flourishing down here, right? I mean, there's a lot of local wealth that circulates between the us being border towns, having Mexico right there, and the resources that we have. So I feel like we have to educate ourselves and know that, hey, there's still opportunities for us as individuals to grow, to buy that house, to learn about investment properties too. Right now, that things are still, I guess, affordable.
Yeah.
What that is crazy to me. I remember going to EDC, me working at the title company, and probably one of the youngest people in the room, right? And Anonymous, no names, was from the state of Texas, was commenting to us that we want these big companies like X company that everyone uses online, and these companies to come in and build their corporations and their corporate buildings down here. And I'm looking around the room, and I'm like, well, we're a local title company. And I see some very successful builders. I'm like, you guys are local builders, local banks. Everyone here is local. And we're not realizing that instead of us using that to our advantage, we're bringing in these big major corporations in, but we also cannot compete with those big corporations once they're here, right?
Hmm.
A bid for builders here for development or lots or land um, is nothing compared to what these bigger companies up north could afford. So definitely, it's educating people that, hey, take advantage of the times that we're at right now on getting an investment property, or if you want to build, ask the questions, learn about it right now, that it's the perfect time before we take off even further, right? And we do
Yeah.
have investors from up north or from foreign investors coming in, taking over the area, as it's happened before in other parts of the country, right? But it's very important. Education, people don't think about it, just asking questions. It's like I tell my kids in class, I'm like, there's no dumb question. If you're questioning it, and when you're thinking about it and you're just there, like, ask it, right? It's better to ask, it's better to know than to just assume or just never ask about it, what's possible. So yeah.
Yeah, that is really a good outlook on things too, and making sure that, we um I heard a phrase one time that says a nodding head does not always equal a nodding heart. And I
Yes,
says,
you told me
wow,
that last time.
right? Didn't I tell you that?
Yep.
And it's so true because
Just
sometimes people, yeah, 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 okay, uh-huh, yeah, yeah. You get to the end of it, they don't understand what you said, or they
yeah.
don't agree with what you said. And in our business with real estate and with lending, this is the biggest thing they're going to do in life, generally, the biggest expenditure, I should say. And they have to be certain, they have to be confident that their realtor, their lender is guiding them in the right way. I have a buyer right now that hasn't purchased in years, decades, but now he's back in the market for the first time. And he told me, he says, John, I am scared to death. I am so nervous about this process. And so we spent quite a bit of time before we even got into pre-approval stuff, just to reassure him of how things work today and with technology and the speed of things and all of that. So it's yeah, it's really it's a key factor that we do every single day, and very, very important. I have a question for you. So, as a younger realtor, jumping into the business, not new to life, obviously, you're an educator as well. But I see on your social media, on your Instagram, you post a lot of cool stuff about real estate and everything. Um, how important do you feel that the use of social media to help educate the local community as to how you can help and maybe even certain demographics? How important do you feel social media is to your business?
I will say this. I Part of what I did at the title company was collateral, and
Mm,
I will. We're guilty of it too. We log onto a website. A website has so many tools, and there's collateral, and there's forms of the home buying process. How often do we click that? We don't,
ah,
right?
right.
So when it comes to social media, it's not so much posting a flyer or something where it says this is the steps to this, this, and this, right? My
Hmm.
job was is if I'm approachable, if I'm being honest and I'm offering a raw experience of yes, I'm a realtor. Me and all other realtors provide the same services. It's all about who you want to work. So I use my social media more as a tool for people to feel comfortable with me, to reach out to me. And then from there, I go about the educating, right? Because again, we could post flyers and diagrams and all this, but when scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, they're not going to read a breakdown or a full flyer. You got to use that as a tool for people to know who you are, right? People to know you as a person, and that's one thing that's really important for me being in the industry is I don't want to come off a certain way that I'm the I don't want to get in trouble for this, that I'm the luxurious realtor, or
I hear you.
I'm this person, or this is what I offer. No, I'm here. I'm a normal person in the community, just like you guys. I have services to offer you guys. If you guys have any questions, I'm here. So my social media is more of a platform for people to get to know me, or check out what I'm capable of, instead of educating them. Once I bring them to my office, once I get on that phone call with them, or that exchange online, whether it's a DM or a message, that's when I start the educating process. It's definitely like with my kids in school, and I use them all the time as an example, right? Because adults are just big kids, let's be honest, right?
That's true.
When it comes to my students, if I'm just giving them an assignment, I give them a paper and I say, okay, guys, this is what you got. This is what we got to do. Do it. And I give it. They look at it. Some of them will sit there and not do it the entire period. Some of them will ask, well, I don't know what I'm doing. They'll put whatever on it. They'll even type, I don't know, right? Or write, I don't know on the paper. That's the same thing with adults. So I don't believe in just forcing out collateral and information like that. It's once you get one-on-one with them. When I start talking to the students and I start relating their experience with the lesson or connecting things for them or answering their questions one-on-one, that's when they learn. And it's the same thing for adults. It's getting that conversation started. What is it that you're looking for? How can I help? Are we a good fit for each other? Let's go about um, educating you on the real estate process, and let's start looking for what it is that you need assistance with, whether it's buying or selling. So again, social media, great tool for people getting to know who you are. And then
Hmm.
from there, once you built that trust, that's when you start the educating process with an individual. And for the most part, like I just got a lead from this couple, and they gave me a lot. They're like, we reached out to you because we saw one of my videos on like stepping over a house. It's an edit that
I
I did. We
see.
thought that
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
worked. And I was like, okay, well, I haven't really generated leads to videos, so I guess that's working. But they're like, yeah, we wanted to work with you. We saw the way that you communicate, the way you text us, and you educated us right off that first call. They're like, we want to work with you. And I was like, okay, perfect. They saw who I was from my social media. We connected, and now we're working together. So that's what I use social
I
media for
love
as
it.
far as a tool.
That's so
Mhm.
good. And you know what comes through loud and clear too, Alec, is your humility, your sense of community. I'm no better than anybody else. I am part of you, part of us in the community, but I have learned some skills that can really help you. And I'm willing to educate you. Social media is a very useful tool, like you said, to push
Yep.
out who we are to people. But then nothing replaces face to face, belly to belly, they call it, belly to belly business, where you actually get to go meet people, shake their hands, talk to them, and really find out what their interests are, even some of their pain points too, so we know how to address them. So, thank you for sharing that. And I had we talked about from the beginning that the theme of this podcast is the mindset of a champion. What sets you apart?
Mm.
And so, my question to you is um, having the mindset of a champion, and I can tell you do, you're a winner because you want to help other people so badly, and you do. But having that mindset of a champion, what does that really mean to you? And more importantly, how does it affect your daily routine being a champion, that mindset?
My daily routine is work all the time, right? Um, mindset of a, I would say I had someone ask me the question recently. I was at a team meeting, and I had never had someone really ask me this question before. But they said, "Do you want to be a millionaire?" And I thought about that question, and I was like, coming into the industry, that was never a goal, you know? Um, there's a couple of bad apples in every industry. Doesn't matter where you work. If you work at a fast food chain, in the school system, politics, you work as a realtor, you work as a banker, anywhere you work, there's bad apples, right? But
Yes.
my mindset coming into this was never about the monetary side so much. It was more so, okay, I have a responsibility with this license. I'm investing in myself with this license. And the mindset for me is reputation, building rapport, and doing the
Hmm.
job. I had it always goes back to the education system for me, right? I had this sixth grade teacher. Her name was Miss Pulido, and she was a science teacher. And she came in to the classroom one day, and she's like, the kids were complaining, why can't we just do something fun? Why can't we just watch a movie? And she said, I remember she got up like this and she was talking to us, and she was like, if I came to class and I just sat here and didn't teach you guys, it's like I would be stealing my paycheck.
Oh,
And 10-year-old me was like, oh, she's on to something. She's cooking right now. That's I never seen it that way, you know? And coming from middle class parents, I've never seen my parents do, excuse my language, like a half-assed job,
Yeah.
right? Whether
Yep.
they were doing something for free or it was their work,
It
they
was 110% every time.
100%. So that's my mentality with it. I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna do it well. And when it comes to my clients, number one thing is getting them to that closing table with a smooth process, following through with my word, and making sure that I'm doing the best that I can on my side of the transaction to represent my client well. Number one thing with realtors is disclosure, and the second thing is integrity. And one thing that I hear a lot that people tell me, and I get it because I'm 24 at the moment, right? And I have a lot of people tell me, just be careful how you do business.
Hmm.
And that's not even something that crosses my mind because I know with my mindset, I'm trying to do everything that I can by the book. I have an amazing mentor. My supervising broker is Patricia Beas, and she's been honestly one of the greatest gifts to me because she has really broken things down for me. Um, has always given the advice that I've needed, and she is one that's by the book as well. And she's one for education. She's one for learning. She's one for asking questions for her team. So having that guidance with her again has just solidified this mindset that we have a job to do, right? And
Yeah,
us
absolutely.
9 to 5, we don't work 9 to 5. We work 24/7. I get
Hmm.
phone calls in the middle of the night, early in the morning, during my lunch break. Weekends, all weekends go straight to it. So definitely coming into it, I feel like, my bad. I feel like a lot of people see the job and they think it's just fast money. No,
Right.
it might be if you're not doing it the right way, right? Or you just got lucky in that sense, but it's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of hustle, and it's not just you. It's your clients, and it's their livelihood that you're messing with. A lot of these clients, maybe this isn't going to be an investment property. This is their forever home. This is where they're living, where they're growing their families, where they see their lifetime there. So it's a big responsibility that I feel each time I get a client. Um, and that's it's just something that we have to go in with heart and with mind and with their best interests at hand. So definitely the mindset of a champion is um, doing whatever it takes with integrity and disclosure and doing the best that you can. And it's like I'm not gonna lie, I'm still young, and me, as with everyone else, we do not know all the answers all the time. So I'm very transparent. If there's a specific answer with my clients, I have my network where I'm like, I will get you the answer. We will ask the
Hmm.
professional if it's a surveyor, an attorney, a loan officer got to talk to someone at the title company. We're gonna get the answer for us, and we're gonna figure it out. Every contract, as when we talked before, is different. Oh my
Sure
God,
is.
coming industry, there's no such thing as a cookie cutter contract. Every client is different. Every contract brings different problems, and you may have that contract that is very smooth, and then you may have those contracts that are very bumpy or that need those extensions or that have something that come up. So yeah, you just have to be prepared for worst case scenarios. Also, I think that's part of the job, and I am one to always ask even what if scenarios, even though I know they may never happen. I'll
Yeah.
call my escrow agent there at Valleyland, and I'll tell them like, Patty, hey, I have this question. I know it's just like off the top of my head. What do you recommend, or what how would I do this? And she'll tell me, or I'll ask my broker these questions, and it's just there's so much to learn, and we will never learn everything, but we'll do our best to adapt and to get all the answers that we need and problem solve. That's really what
I
we're
love
doing.
that. I love that because, when you think of a champion, a lot of people go to sports, right? They're like, oh, they're champions. They won the World Series. They won, Super Bowl, whatever. But what they don't always think about is the journey to get there. All the
Hmm.
hard work
Yeah,
that led up to it. All they saw was the game where they won it all.
yeah.
And you and I both know it's very different getting to that winning part where we're actually winning for our clients. We're winning for ourselves because we have We have good peace of mind knowing that we did the best we can. But it's everything we learned in that journey. The bumps, as you mentioned, we get through those bumps, we get through solutions that to problems that come up, and next thing you know, we're that much wiser, that much of a champion in our next contract that we work with and family that we help. And it's just a beautiful thing. I appreciate the fact that you, although young in years, you have a lot of wisdom in your words, your mentorship that's happened, and you're really taking that to heart. And I have one final question for you, because
Yeah.
I know you're busy and you just got off work too and everything. But what advice would you have for someone else who may be young in years, may be looking at the realtor field and say, "Ooh, maybe this is something I want to do." Or maybe someone that's been in this field as a realtor for years, but
Yeah.
perhaps they feel a little stagnant.
Yeah.
What advice would you offer for someone to be successful in this real estate business?
I grew up a Hispanic community, of course, and a lot of the times, um, our job lineage, I guess, is generational. I grew up around educators, so my end goal, believe it or not, out of high school is like, okay, being an educator is the end goal. That's it. That's it. And I will say it doesn't matter your age, whether you're young or wise in years, right? Um, there's nothing wrong with trying something new. But if you're going to try something new, do it because you love it, not because you're in it for monetary reasons, because you're chasing the wrong thing, right? Um, I love my jobs. I'm a
I
full-time
can
teacher,
tell. Yeah.
I'm realtor, and people ask me, "Oh, you do real estate part-time?"
I say I don't do
No, I
anything
probably
part
put
time.
more hours in. Uh, I probably put more hours in real estate really than teaching, and I'm always on call with my clients and all that. But I will say I love what I do. It's very fulfilling. I remember my first um, contract that I did was a lease, and it was $280, and it was one that was it was a runaround for that lease to close because there were some mishaps that happened and unit changes and things that were just how property management sometimes is not management but the owners. There's things that happen with the property that we just never expect with leases, right? And I got it done, and the check was $280. I remember sitting in my car and I couldn't stop smiling. I was like, wow, that felt so good. And I got emotional and I went to my mom and I was like, I'm gonna do this. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna run with it. And I remember about a month before I passed my real estate test, I'm a post-it note person. My desk is filled with post-it notes on my walls and
Yep, I can see that.
yeah, and in my room one of the nights I had wrote I have a goal, I have a dream and I'm gonna do it. And I every day doing this job, it's just a reminder that I'm out there and I'm pushing it. And the reason why I'm in it and actually putting the hours in and the restless nights and the mornings and the days and everything is because I love what I do. And that's really my main goal. I know a lot of times in our Hispanic culture, we're forced to get into one job line and we're there our whole lives until we retire. I wish people wouldn't think like that. I wish people would venture out more. Our lives are so short and there's so much out there that you could learn and grow from and actually enjoy. So definitely if there's someone looking to venture into the real estate and it's something that you feel that you have the heart and mind for, go for it. Take the leap. Whatever you're doing, you're a doctor, you're a teacher, you have your life, you control your your path, right? We do. And if you have that urge to try it, and again, your mind is in the right place, your heart is in the right place, I highly recommend to all my youngsters out there and my elders, doesn't matter your age, give it a try. to see what it is. If it's something that you're able to do and you want to venture into it, by all means.
No, I love that. And that is so critical to hear those words, not only from a 24-year-old, but somebody that has really a passion for helping other families and people. Not once did you mention, yep, I'm in it because I know I can make a lot of money. And I'll tell you what, when we're interviewing potential loan advisors to join our team, and we're growing and like crazy now all over the country. But one of the first things I ask them is, why do you want to get into, you know, either real estate if I'm interviewing agents to help other broker shops grow? Sometimes I help them grow their business. But when I'm interviewing loan officer, why do you want to get into, being a lender on this side? And if they start off and lead with, you know what, because I know you can make a lot of money, one red flag goes up, right? And that's not the end.
Yeah,
Maybe, we'll keep the interview going, but it's it's a mindset. People that
yeah,
love people don't think about the money first because we're in a business where the money just follows us. It's fine.
yeah.
The fact
And
that we can help people.
yeah, I will say I'm getting ready for taxes. Oh my gosh. This we'll see how taxes goes, right? And I've done I met my goal for the year. I made a small goal for myself with closings and I got a couple leases too.
Congrats.
And thank you so much. Yeah, I've it's been a year. This year feels like it's been 5 years long. I'm not gonna lie. And I was calculating my revenues and I was like, there's no way that this is what followed. And I was at disbelief. Sorry. It
That's all
was
right.
I'm in this setting. So when I was doing my taxes, I was looking at my, of course, my income and all that. And I was like, wow. I was like, I've been so caught up in getting these clients like to the closing table and answering all these questions and even people that aren't clients, potential customers and helping them out. Um, I didn't realize what would follow as far as revenue. And that's why I say like if your heart and mind is in the right place, good things will follow, right? So it's been a great journey so far. And I mean, again, you love what you do and you actually go in with integrity and you do things right, the right way, the good will follow, right? So
Yeah, that is
again,
so true, Alan. I love
yeah, it
hearing
wasn't the
that.
money tax season. I'm like, I gotta prepare for that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And that's not a bad problem to prepare for, when it's a little bit more than you anticipated and you're like, you know what? This represents families I helped. I'm really happy to see that and you should be rewarded for it because yeah, I heard one realtor told me one day that um, said each day that I wake up unemployed until my next family I help.
yeah,
And it's true, we all work and give of ourselves in our various roles that we perform. And once it's all done and the buyers and sellers are happy, that's great. And then we get our compensation for it. But until that time, we're putting in a lot of hours on our own dime, so to speak. So it's really great to see that advice, how to be successful and I really appreciate your words of wisdom there. And I hope that this podcast will inspire other
oh yeah,
young people to get into the real estate field or take an interest in the lending side of things because, I know at least when I was younger, I only thought that realtors were at least 50, 60, 70 years old, right? My realtor's been doing this for 35 years, right? But now we can see that there's more younger people that are being exposed to it, that are actually taking an interest. And so your words will be very inspiring. And as we post it on social media, we'll definitely take that twist on it as well to
yeah.
say, if you're looking for a career as a young person, why not consider what Alec is doing? and how he's making a success to help other people. So really grateful that you were able to join today. And I know that you're working 24/7 like I am, so I'm not going to take up too much more of your time, but grateful for all of your hard work there in southern Texas, the greater McAllen area. And I realize too that you're really looking forward to okay, sorry about that. A phone call rang in here, but very grateful again.
Yeah, yeah, you're good.
And we will chat soon, my friend. And I wish you even more success as we wrap up this great year and we move into 2026.
It's exciting to see what's in store. And before we end it, I would just like to say, my people from the Rio Grande Valley, just know the American dream is possible. To anyone that's looking to buy a home, the American dream is still there for us, especially us youngsters out there, and it is possible. Just find the right guidance, find the right people, and there's always someone out there willing to help. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it and can't